245 million. It's a big number. And that's how many reviews Google deleted last year alone. That's concerning for lots of reasons. Let's go through reasons why that's concerning. Last year, Google had 1 billion reviews posted on its network, which is fantastic for the world because it means that people are giving honest feedback. But they also removed pretty much 25% of those. And that's concerning because they are not very transparent about why. So let's have a bit of a chat about that. I've spoken to many business owners over the last 6 to 12 months who have said that legitimate, real reviews have been removed by Google. And I think the reason for this and what we need to blame this on is AI. Google has this amazing algorithm to find fake reviews, right? And I'm sure they've got a really good system there. But as we've shown in many other of our videos and content, AI hallucinates, AI is not accurate, AI is not the best thing in the world. And it's concerning that the amount of reviews are constantly being increased that are being removed. And the common response we get from Google is, trust the system. Well, I don't trust the system because Google is fundamentally broken from an algorithm perspective, and their Google My Business pages, which they stupidly changed their name to Google Business Profile, whatever the hell it is nowadays. But my point is that it needs to stop, and there needs to be accountability that if you go out and get these reviews, you need to be able to go back to Google and be like, hey, this is a mistake, and actually have a process that you can go through. Their lame excuse at the moment is you can, somewhat request a review, but every single time I've ever done that with a client, we never get successful outcomes. On the other hand, it's very easy to get reviews removed. There's even whole companies that's their whole job. And to be honest, those techniques are very questionable. Just because you get a legal letter to remove a review, and that's fine, Google doesn't want to go to court, but to pull back a review, that's impossible. And then you ask the client to do a review, and then there's a higher risk if you're then getting your whole profile penalized because you're artificially inflating your reviews. It's just bullshit, and let's call it out for what it is. So let's have a little bit of a chat about some of the things you can do and what's really going on here. So how did we get here? I think that's a really important part to start with. And I think the number one thing we need to be looking at is that 93% of people say that when they start a buying journey for most products, they look at reviews. Reviews are your most important trust signal to get an actual new client. And at the moment, we rely on places like Google, Amazon, and to some degree, I guess some of these tech third-party platforms are out there taking reviews, but no one holds them accountable. And let's not get into the shittier part of this industry, which is Yelp and some of those other more questionable ones where the platform or the company pays for those reviews to be there, right? I think the thing here is that we need to be able to actually have more transparent information from Google about what's going on with these reviews and how do they review this and how does their AI work. I think the sad reality is we're just not going to get that. One of the interesting things that came out in their yearly study from Google is that I guess the businesses that were hit the hardest was restaurants, dentists, and local shops, which get a majority of their traffic through Google My Business page. And the other thing that a lot of people don't realize is that if you have less than 10 reviews on your page, you don't even show up. And if you lose too many reviews or Google thinks that you're manipulating the system, you just get banished. So let's go through a few steps on things you can do to make sure that you don't have that issue. The number one thing you need to do is you need to make sure that you actually ask people for reviews. If we work on the logic that 25% of all reviews are going to be deleted, you need to then ask your clients 25% more to get reviews. And you also then need to keep a track of the reviews you do get. And I know as a business owner, it's very hard to sit there and ask people for reviews. It's awkward. And even I've had issues in the past going out there like, hey, can you review? We had a really good conversation, or I did something for you. But it's the most honest way of doing it. I know people go out there and they use these third-party companies or they use automated tools. Those things are not that good. The best way you can get a review is actually just asking people. And I think that's really important. You go out there and ask people. The second thing you need to be doing is making sure that you're getting testimonials from people. So it's not just relying on reviews on third-party websites, which, as we can see in Google's case, they're not actually your ownership. You don't actually have them. They can get deleted just like that. So you need to make sure that you get video testimonials, or if you get a testimonial that's on Google, take a screenshot of it and use it on your website. All those things build trust. The number one way you can do this is if you finish a job or you do something, ask someone if you can take a photo of them, or if they'll do a video, or offer them something in return for doing that, because it's going to help your business. The third and final step for this is you need to make sure that you're getting engagement everywhere on the internet. And this is something that I tell my clients all the time, and that is be everywhere all at once. The reason that is so important is that if you only focus on one channel or one ecosystem, the issue you've got is that if that ecosystem turns on you, so for example, Google My Business page has an issue and it gets banned, you have no other way of getting clients into the door. And diversification in digital marketing in 2025 and beyond is the number one thing you can do to actually safeguard yourself. I've got a new series coming up where I'm actually going to show real life examples of people who are influencers on YouTube or who are influencers on LinkedIn, but do you know what? They're only on one ecosystem and that's all they care about. And I know it's a lot of work, and I even look at what we're building here, and I am literally filming like 4 videos a week, plus I go out and I do shorts. Like, it's a full-time job just building content. I've built a team around me to make sure it's more efficient and that I'm only spending a couple of hours, not 10 hours every week doing one part of that step. I'm going to finish with this point. Google reviews are really important. They're a ranking factor. They are a reason why people trust your business and reason why they'll become a client of yours. Make sure that you cherish that asset and you're looking after that asset and you're constantly adding new reviews to that. Finally, I just want to thank you for watching this video. I know I always ask, and I'll ask again, can you please smash that like button and hit the subscribe button if this was useful? It really helps us grow this channel and allows other people to find us.